The summer of 1969, a time of peace, love, and music. But under the California sun, darkness stirred. A string of brutal murders shocked the nation. At the center of this storm stood Charles Manson, a cult leader with a hypnotic hold on his followers. The Manson murders weren't just violent crimes, they were symbolic. This essay delves into the heart of the Manson murders. The Manson murders were more than just a crime, they were a cultural earthquake. The aftershocks continue to this day. The sheer brutality, coupled with the enigmatic nature of Charles Manson, created a breeding ground for speculation. Conspiracy theories abound. Each one attempts to make sense of the senseless. Some theories point to possible motives beyond Manson's control. Was he a pawn in a larger game? Some whisper about government conspiracies. Could the CIA have been involved using Manson as part of their MKUltra program? Others claim Manson sought to ignite a race war. They believe he intended to pin the murders on the Black Panthers. This helter-skelter theory, as it came to be known, is just one thread in a tangled web. The truth, as is often the case, remains elusive. Evidence is often contradictory, witnesses unreliable. Yet the whispers persist. Was Manson manipulating a system designed to control him, or was he the mastermind behind a carefully orchestrated plot? These questions continue to fascinate and fuel our darkest imaginings. The Manson murders, it seems, are destined to remain shrouded in mystery. August 8, 1969. Night fell over Los Angeles, casting long shadows over the Hollywood Hills. At 10,050 Cielo Drive, a house pulsed with life. Sharon Tate, a beautiful actress, 8 months pregnant, entertained friends. Jay Sebring, a renowned hairstylist. Wojciech Frykowski and Abigail Folger, a screenwriter and coffee heiress. A night of laughter and camaraderie soon transformed into a scene of unimaginable horror. The peace was shattered by intruders. Charles Tex Watson, Susan Atkins, Patricia Krenwinkel, and Linda Kasabian, members of Manson's family, stormed the house. They were armed and acting on their leader's chilling command. What followed was a massacre. Sharon Tate and her guests, brutally murdered. Their bodies, subjected to unimaginable violence. The killers left a gruesome calling card. The word pig scrawled on the front door in blood. News of the murders sent shockwaves through Los Angeles and beyond. The brutality was unspeakable. The victims, young, successful, and innocent. The City of Angels, once a symbol of glamour and opportunity, now seemed cloaked in fear. The Tate murders exposed the dark underbelly of the American dream. They left an indelible stain on the national psyche. The horror didn't end at Cielo Drive. The following night, August 9, 1969, the Manson family struck again. This time, their victims were Lino and Rosemary LaBianca, a supermarket executive, and his wife. The couple was chosen at random, their home a mere 10 miles from the previous night's carnage. The scene at the LaBianca residence was equally horrifying. Manson himself participated this time, further cementing his control over his followers. Leno LaBianca was stabbed multiple times. A carving fork protruded from his stomach. The word war was carved into his chest. Rosemary LaBianca suffered a similar fate, stabbed dozens of times. The killers then used her blood to write "Rise and Death to Pigs" on the walls. These 2 nights of terror left 7 people dead. The victims, seemingly unconnected, bound together by the depravity of their killers. The Manson family's rampage instilled a deep sense of fear and paranoia. The summer of love had morphed into a season of fear. The random nature of the crimes left everyone feeling vulnerable. No one knew who might be next. The Manson murders became a terrifying symbol of the fragility of peace and the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface of even the most idyllic communities. The brutality of the Tate LaBianca murders sent shockwaves through the Los Angeles Police Department. The crime scenes were chaotic, soaked in blood. The murders seemed personal, fueled by rage. But who could have committed such heinous acts? Initially, the police struggled to find a motive. The victims came from different walks of life. There were no signs of robbery or forced entry. The investigation seemed to hit a wall. The police initially focused their attention on the wrong suspects. Drug-related motives were explored, the music industry, rife with rumors of dark secrets, came under scrutiny. The brutality of the crimes pointed to something more than a simple robbery or act of passion. The investigation dragged on. Weeks turned into months. The pressure mounted to find the killers and bring them to justice. The city of Los Angeles, and indeed the nation, held its breath waiting for answers. Section 6. The Unraveling Confessions and the Collapse of the Family. The breakthrough in the Manson case came from an unexpected source, one of the family members themselves. Susan Atkins, incarcerated on unrelated charges, boasted to a fellow inmate about her involvement in the Tate murders. This confession, overheard and reported to the authorities, blew the case wide open. Atkins's confession provided crucial details about the crimes, placing Manson and his followers at the scene. She implicated Tex Watson, Patricia Krenwinkel, and Linda Kasabian. Armed with this new information, the police moved swiftly. The family members were arrested and charged with the Tate LaBianca murders. The arrests sent shockwaves through the nation. The public was captivated by the story of Charles Manson, the charismatic cult leader, and his devoted followers. As the investigation deepened, the full extent of Manson's control over the family became horrifyingly clear. He manipulated his followers, preying on their vulnerabilities. He used a potent mix of sex, drugs, and twisted interpretations of the Bible to bend them to his will. The family's unraveling revealed a chilling tale of manipulation, violence, and the dark side of the counterculture movement. The world watched in horror and fascination as the details of the Manson family's crimes unfolded in court. Section 7. Tangled Threads, Exploring the Conspiracy Labyrinth. The Manson family's conviction did little to quell the whispers of conspiracy. Theories abound, ranging from plausible to outlandish. One persistent theory is the helter-skelter scenario. Manson, obsessed with racial tension, sought to ignite a race war. The truth remains elusive. Section 8. The Gavel Falls, Justice and Life Sentences. The trial of Charles Manson and his followers was a media spectacle. The world watched as the prosecution presented its case, laying out the gruesome details of the Tate LaBianca murders. Manson, with his wild eyes and carved swastika on his forehead, became a symbol of evil, his image plastered across newspapers and television screens. Despite his attempts to disrupt the proceedings and manipulate the jury, Manson and his co-defendants were found guilty on all charges. The prosecution, led by Vincent Bugliosi, presented a compelling case, meticulously detailing the family's movements and the overwhelming evidence linking them to the crimes. The defense, hampered by the defendant's often erratic behavior and Manson's insistence on representing himself, struggled to refute the prosecution's claims. On March 29, 1971, the jury delivered its verdict, guilty. Manson, along with Susan Atkins, Patricia Krenwinkel, and Leslie Van Houten, were sentenced to death. Tex Watson, tried separately, received the same sentence. The death sentences were later commuted to life in prison when California abolished the death penalty. The Manson family, responsible for one of the most horrific crimes in American history, would spend the rest of their days behind bars. Section 9. Scars on Society. The Manson Murders' Enduring Legacy. The Manson murders cast a long shadow over American culture. They marked the end of the 1960s idealism, shattering the illusion of peace and love. The brutality of the crimes, coupled with the charismatic yet menacing figure of Charles Manson, left an indelible mark on the national psyche. The murders fueled a sense of paranoia and fear. The stranger danger narrative gained traction, and gated communities became increasingly popular. The Manson family became a cautionary tale, a symbol of the dark side of the counterculture movement. The Manson murders continue to fascinate and horrify, inspiring countless books, documentaries, and films. They serve as a stark reminder of the capacity for human evil and the fragility of peace. The case, with its enduring mysteries and unanswered questions, continues to spark debate and speculation, ensuring that the legacy of the Manson family will continue to haunt us for generations to come. As we wrap up our exploration of the Manson murders, it's important to reflect on the broader implications of this dark chapter in history. The Manson murders were not just a series of brutal crimes. They were a cultural watershed moment that forced society to confront its own vulnerabilities. They revealed how easily charismatic figures can manipulate and control, and how quickly the veneer of civilization can be shattered. But what do you think? Do the Manson murders represent the ultimate cautionary tale of blind obedience and the dangers of cult mentality, or are they a tragic anomaly, a unique confluence of circumstances that could never be replicated? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's engage in a thoughtful discussion about the lessons we can learn from this harrowing episode. Remember, understanding the past is crucial for preventing similar tragedies in the future. Thank you for watching, and if you found this video informative, please like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the most chilling true crime stories.